I'm so proud to be a New Yorker. I really am. There's always times where it's like the cost of living in New York City is always going up and there's some bullshit going on in the subway stations. We have a local hero that we have to celebrate here. A man from Westchester who was booted from the city field for inciting a riot. It was during a Mets game back in Tuesday when they were facing against the Cubs. He was basically, wearing a t-shirt, well, a white shirt, in fact, that had a tally mark that's, kept track of how many beers he would drink and how many hot dogs, or at least in this context, we should say glizzies, that he has consumed, with a title on his shirt saying something along the lines of, "It's a bad day to be a glizzy." Basically, this man is just with his girl or his wife, I believe, we'll just say his partner, who wanted to go to a Mets game. He just came from Westchester. He wanted to have some fun. He wanted to drink some beers and eat some hot dogs. That same day on Tuesday, there was $1 hot dogs. You buy a hot dog and it's only $1. That's it. But the only catch is you can only have 4 hot dogs per person. Of course, because $1 for a hot dog is pretty crazy of a deal. This guy was keeping tabs on how much hot dogs he would consume. Throughout the game, he would, eat hot dogs, and people would take notice of his shirt and they would say, "Hey man, I'll buy you a hot dog. You want a hot dog? Here, have a hot dog. Yo, I got plenty of hot dogs. Take 2, take 3. I don't care. Here, you can eat these hot dogs. Go ahead." He's taking all these hot dogs and he's just eating them. And he's keep tallying up how many hot dogs he's consumed. I'm going to show you a couple videos on this. I think the videos would definitely describe to you the whole scenario on what's going on.
That's disgusting, bro. He's looking at every stats. That's wild, bro.
So you can see the crowd is just rooting him on, telling him one more time or one more glizzy. I think they were basically saying one more time. And that man just stood up from his seat. He took one hot dog and he took one big bite from the hot dog, and everyone is just rooting for him and cheering him on, which is just pretty hilarious. And I also love the fact that he brought a whole hot dog hat and he puts it on only to then take another bite from a new hot dog that I guess he so happened to just catch, while everyone was just chucking hot dogs at him. Of course, security and officials around Citi Field didn't appreciate that. They didn't like that. Apparently, that's considered a riot in their books. And despite the police officers or the security guards, escorting him off out his seat and out of Citi Field, he was still, raising his hands, amping up the crowd, and the crowd was still rooting for him, cheering for him. It was really hilarious. There was nothing crazy going on. And you could tell, the police officers or maybe the security guards didn't really take much seriousness into it, but at the same time, they did have to remove him because, yeah, you can't just be having people throwing hot dogs at you. So even though this whole situation was like pretty silly, like just a guy who's just drinking beers and eating hot dogs, and he almost got everybody around his vicinity just throwing hot dogs at him, encouraging him to just eat more hot dogs. They didn't even press any charges on him after he left. They were just saying like, hey, listen, we're not going to press charges. This whole thing is just silly. We're not going to press charges on you because people were just throwing hot dogs at you. And to top it all off, we have a tweet here from a fellow Mets fan who came across this legend, took a picture of him and posted a tweet saying, rode with this legend back to the city and got the whole story. Him and his girlfriend came from Westchester to have a good time. Welder, blue collar guy, just wants to drink beers and eat glizzies. I'm here for it. People were just having fun. I just love New Yorkers. It's little stories like this that just makes a huge difference. It just warms my heart a little bit. It's times where it's like, I wish I wasn't in New York City, considering like the cost of living is like absurdly high to the point that I can barely afford to be here. But then at the same time, I see stories like this and I just can't help but remind myself why I am in New York City to begin with. And it's because of people like this. It's because of heroes like him. And that makes me feel proud to be a New Yorker. Because if there's one thing I know about New Yorkers, we will take anything and make it an event. We will celebrate. This is kind of reminding me of that same instance. Well, not a same instance, but there was apparently a dude that was eating cheese balls. He had a whole jar of cheese balls that he ate in Union Square. All he did for advertising was just take like printed pieces of paper, put it across like streets of New York City on light posts and say, hey, meet me at Union Square at this day at this time to watch me eat a whole jar of cheese balls. And it was a man, he had like a jacket on and he had like an orange baklava on, and he would have cheese balls. And my man's literally ate a jar of cheese balls in front of hundreds of people in Union Square. So I feel as if we got a cheese ball man and now we got a hot dog man. I don't know what the next man is going to be, but again, it's just moments like these that reminds me why I love to be in New York City. Until then, guys, that's about it. I'm going to sleep in a city that never sleeps. Until next time, y'all. Peace.